We're talking baseball here on the Baseball Talk Radio Show.
And hello and welcome to the Baseball Talk Radio Show. I'm Gary Mack, and I'm usually joined by my good friend Rich Baxter, but Rich has to take a slight hiatus for a few weeks. Got to take care of some business, so we're rooting for Rich and can't wait for Rich to come back. Rich, you got to come back soon. This is going to be tough, but we're going to try to soldier on and keep the show going for you. And I hope you'll enjoy some of the things. Hopefully, I can get a couple of interviews in. Maybe an author of a book I just finished on Warren Spahn. That might be pretty interesting to talk to him about it. But, Rich, buddy, this show's for you. And hope you come back real soon. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in Major League Baseball. You know, we're almost, or in some cases, some teams are actually at the halfway point. And a lot of craziness going on in the game now. And teams that should have been winning are losing. Teams that were really counted out to be really bad teams are starting to put things together. The Cincinnati Reds just had a 7-game winning streak. Really playing some good ball, and everybody thought they were going to be terrible. The Miami Marlins playing a little bit better than everybody expected. And, of course, my Mets are just stinking up the joint. So they've got a 7 or 8 game losing streak right now. You know, the losing comes right so much right after the other. You begin to lose count after a while, but they're not doing well at all. Rich's Phillies doing pretty decent, hanging in the race. The Atlanta Braves, nobody saw that coming. I certainly didn't. I thought they were going to be horrible this year because they just had all those problems in the offseason. But they're somehow putting it together. And in the other league, the Baltimore Orioles are just having an awful year. They're in line for the number 1 pick. Kansas City Royals, 3 years ago, the champions. They're in last place. They're in second. They're in line for the 2nd pick in the next year's MLB draft. As of right now, that could of course change the rest of the season. Chicago White Sox got off to an okay start. We're hanging in at 50%, and now they are dropping quickly in the standings. So they're not doing very well. But some teams that are, Milwaukee Brewers are still hanging in there. The Cardinals are still hanging in there. The Cubbies are in it, of course. Dodgers got off to an awful start. And yet they're making a move. So it's going to be an exciting next couple of months as we're closing in on June, the end of June, going to start the month of July. And, of course, July means the trading deadline. And we'll see if there will be any big names moving. Usually in midseason, there's not as many big-name players that change teams. That happens more in the offseason. But who knows nowadays? You know, it's crazy, the game. I'll give you another example. I hate to keep using the Mets, but, they hired a manager, and he was strictly analytics, and they're going down the toilet. They're not winning. It's just terrible. They're awful to watch. They have no speed. They don't do anything right. And now he's talking about bunting and beating the shifts, which are all analytics. So it's like they're turning on themselves. They've used these analytics, and now they're turning against them. And want to do things to beat the analytics, if you will. So it's very confusing. But had they not sold out totally this analytics in the beginning, a lot of these teams would be in a lot better shape. But no, they wanted to go by these stupid numbers, and numbers can't measure heart. And that's what these guys don't understand. These are not robots out on the field. These are human beings, and they just want to, portray them as they do this all the time in that situation. Maybe that's what the numbers show, but you never know what's going to happen, what a human may do at any given time. 9 times out of 10, they can do it one way, but that 10th time could cost you a World Series. So it's just crazy with the analytics, and it's sometimes it's sad to watch a baseball game because some of the things that the commissioner wants to do too is a head scratcher. And it's funny, it's who you talk to. I mean, there was an article here in New York that posed the question, is Rob Manfred ruining the game of baseball? And a big, long explanation and everything. And then there was another article that came out that he's making these changes to keep the game evolving with the future. Who's to say? But I know they had an extra inning game in the New York Penn League, and they put the guy at second, and really, it was stupid. It's really ridiculous. And that team happened to win. It was the Hudson Valley Renegades against the Brooklyn Cyclones, and the Renegades got the guy home, and when the Cyclones got up, they couldn't get their guy home. But that's not the way the game should be played. Just got to do something different. I don't think any of these speeding up things are making any dent at all in the time of a game, and I think it's in some instances it's wasting more time. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. All right, and some other news. The MLB suspends Roberto Osuna for 75 games. After a long investigation, Major League Baseball announced a 75-game suspension of Blue Jays pitcher Roberto Osuna under the MLB-MLBPA Joint Domestic Violence Act, Sexual Assault and Child Abuse Policy. The ban is retroactive to May 8th and will end on August 4th of this year. Osuna will not appeal the decision, the league states. Manfred's statement does not specify the league's findings beyond stating that he determined Osuna to have violated the domestic violence policy. In some of the prior announcements of suspensions under the policy, Manfred has offered factual assessments and some explanation of the basis for the punishment. In this case, according to John Heyman of FanRag, it is believed MLB was able to interview the alleged victim of the assault. Osuna is said to be facing charges of assaulting his girlfriend. It seems then that Commissioner Rob Manfred has been able to secure sufficient information to reach a determination. So he'll be out for 75 games. And, the beat goes on. I mean, really, these guys never seem to learn. And they're going to continue to keep doing these things. All right, let's take a quick break and come back after these messages.
We'd love to hear your comments. You can reach Gary at baseballtalkradio.com or me, Rich at baseballtalkradio.com. We'd love to hear your comments, so send them in. Subscribe to the Baseball Talk Radio show on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, or Podomatic.com. This way you'll never miss an episode. Gary, I think I'm going to go over to baseballtalkradio.com and listen to all the baseball talk shows there. Do you think I can cram it all in on a weekend?
No, I don't think so. It's going to take you quite some time, but there's a little bit of everything there. Cover most of the teams, and Japanese baseball, fantasy baseball, all there at baseballtalkradio.com, the home of great baseball talk shows. And go check it out. It's a great place. And if you'd like to help us out a little bit, you can go to patreon.com, become a sponsor of the show. Help us out. $2 a month, $1 a month, anything you can give it all would be gratefully appreciated, and help us do more of this kind of thing, the video, and expand our capabilities, and maybe some on the road surprises in the summertime. So that's patreon.com/baseball talk. Give whatever you can. We'd greatly appreciate it. Please go and help us out.
You're listening to BaseballPodcasts.net.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a PhD in life through baseball? Welcome to Baseball PhD, a tour company for your brain. 30 major league teams, 100 places to see. Let's touch them all as we make the road trip of a lifetime.
Okay. And we're back, and let's take a look at the All-Star ballot update. You have until July the 5th to cast ballots for the Midsummer Classic. And let me click that over there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Checking it out so far. In the AL, let's see. Mookie Betts seems to be second in the voting, is Jose Altuve, of course, with 2,460,000 votes. Mookie Betts has 2,337,000. Mike Trout is at 1,989,000, and Aaron Judge is 1,557,000. Manny Machado has 960,000. Jose Ramirez at third has 1.3 million. Wilson Ramos is the catcher. He's got a little over 1 million. The DH is J.D. Martinez at 1.6. And at first base with a little bit over 1 million is Jose Abreu, and that's at the latest numbers we could find. And let's see who's moving up on the National League. Well, let's start with the catcher, Buster Posey. He's got a little over 1 million. Freddie Freeman's leading everybody with 2.2 million votes. Ozzie Albies, another Atlanta Braves rookie, with 1.4. Brandon Crawford of the Giants has 1.7 at shortstop for the National League squad. Nolan Arenado at 1.7 from the Colorado Rockies, of course. Another Brave, Nick Markakis at 1.8, and Matt Kemp with 1.4, and Bryce Harper with 1.4. And boy, those Atlanta people are getting out and voting for their team this year, it seems. And really doing a fine job out there. And they've got that new second-year-old studio. Listen to me. That stadium out there, it's the second year they are in that. And, wow, just looking at some of the numbers in the National League, there's quite a big lead. Freddie Freeman, as we said, 2.2 million. He's got a big lead over Anthony Rizzo. Ozzie Albies it's a little closer with Javier Baez, and it seems we've got the Braves and the Cubs in the most part battling out, but really Brandon Crawford up there for the Giants, and very interesting. So you can go online and vote. So I suggest you do that. vote early and often, as they say. You can do that. You can vote more than once. It is according to your email, so there's a certain amount of time that you can vote. All right, let's take a quick look at the standings. We're not going to do a real long show this week. Got to get back and line up some stuff for the show, but wanted to get one in the book. So in the American League East, we've got the Yankees with a 51-25 record. Their percentage points ahead of the Boston Red Sox at 52-27. And Tampa Bay, who just swept the Yankees and have won 4 in a row, they're closing in on 500, so they're not really in the race, but making a nice run at least to get themselves what better situated. Cleveland Indians starting to open it up now. They're at 43-34 in the American League Central. Minnesota's grabbed the second spot with a 34-40 record. They're 7.5 back, and percentage points behind them is Detroit with a 36-43 record. And as we said, the White Sox and the Royals are way out of it. In the American League West, Houston has reclaimed the top spot at a 52-28 record. They've opened it up to a 3.5 game lead over the Seattle Mariners, who are at 48-31. The Angels are a distant 10.5 back at 41-38. As is the Oakland A's, but not, still not really out of it yet. They're above 500, and anything could happen at that point. Let's take a look at the National League. The Atlanta Braves are got a 3.5 game lead, 45-32 for those Braves. They've got a 3.5 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies, who were hanging tough at 41-35. And the Washington Nationals at 41-36. They are 4 games back. Then comes the Mets at 31-45. And the Miami Marlins at 32-47. In the NL Central, Milwaukee Brewers hanging tough. 2.5 game lead over the Cubbies, 45-32, compared to 42-34 for the Cubbies. As we said earlier, St. Louis is hanging in there at 41-36. Pittsburgh was up there early in the year, but is having a meltdown and kind of dropping. Cincinnati was, all in all, when you look at the numbers, they're not good, but they're at 32-46. They just came off a 7-game winning streak. They lost yesterday. They're 7-3 over their last 10. So not too bad for that team, and they've got a better record than the Mets, folks. I mean, so for what it's worth, Arizona continues to set the pace in the Western Division. They are at 44-34. The Dodgers making a big-time run. They're 42-35, game and a half back. They've won 4 in a row, 7-3 in their last 10. The Giants are still in it. They are at 40-39, only 4.5 back. Colorado is 2 games under 500 at 38-40, but they're 6 games back, and they're not totally out of it yet. And neither is San Diego, even though they are 9 games below 500 at 35-46, 10.5 games back. But if you can put together a run, just look at what the Dodgers did to get back into that race. All right, let's take another quick break. Got to get a little drink here from my throat, so we'll be right back after this.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com, along with Mets Musings and other great baseball podcasts.
Okay, and we're back, and we have a reputation on this show of doing a lot of food stories. And this week will be no exception. Except I'm not sure I would want to try this. And if you are looking at the video, it's a little hideous, but the Erie Sea Wolves are trying something different. They held an event called Sugar Rush Night, and one of the promotions was the cotton candy hot dog. No, not cotton candy on a hot dog. It's cotton candy with the hot dog for the roll, and it is topped with nerds. I don't know about this one. I mean, there it is. If you are looking at the video, you can see it. It's a regular hot dog. It's got the cotton candy all wrapped around it like a bun, and nerds on the top. But sorry, folks, it wouldn't be my first choice at all. For a dish at the ballpark. You know, I was at the ballpark the other day, and believe me, I would not have chose that. Now, they had another promotion from Sugar Rush Night that may be a little bit more feasible. It's a cotton candy ball. It is ice cream covered in sprinkles inside a ball of cotton candy. And it looks something like that from the outside. So that might be something. Well, that would be more feasible to me than the hot dog with the cotton candy bun. I don't think I would really care for that too much. But anyway, you know, that's the great part of the minor leagues, folks. They're always trying different things. They're always trying to bring home something new, something in the food area to make it different, and the wacky promotions. So if you live in a minor league town, it is well worth it to try to get there and enjoy your game. First off, you're closer to the action. You know, it's more family fun can be had. It's cheaper, so you can take the family. It's just it's a whole different experience, and I think you'll all enjoy it very much. So look, if you're going on vacation and you're going where there's a minor league team, check it out. If you're just live by a minor league team, I suggest you go check it out, and you won't regret it. It's a ball of fun, and look for one of those crazy promotions, because they do a lot of them in that those venues. All right, well, next week we'll be back again with another episode of the Baseball Talk Radio Show. I hope you'll join us. Until Rich, please, buddy. You got to come back, buddy. We all miss you here at the Baseball Talk Radio Show. So until next time, have a great week, and we'll see you then.